Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Shauna and welcome to my YouTube space. I am going to be doing for you today a daily makeup routine, and I'm also going to be showing you the products that I use on a daily basis and give you some tips and tricks along the way for maybe getting ready a little bit faster if you're someone who has a full-time job, or you're a student, or you're an on-the-go mom like myself and you have a full-time job. So if you want to see how I complete my daily makeup routine, then go ahead and just keep watching. Also, if you are new here, please feel free to click that subscribe button down below. I would truly appreciate it, and also like this video if you would like more how-to or tips and tricks videos. So if you want to see how I do my everyday makeup routine, then just go ahead and keep watching. So I started this video this time with no eyebrows, and it's weird for me because I always have my eyebrows done in videos, but I wanted to show you the everyday route that I go to get my makeup done, my everyday makeup routine. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with priming the face. My skin type is combination, and I do have enlarged pores right here on my nose, on my forehead. So because I do have oily skin, I do have those enlarged pores, so I like to use a pore filling primer. I will use Benefit Professional. I will use the Smashbox Photo Finish foundation primer, the pore minimizer, which is what I'm going to be using today. As well, I'm going to be using my Tarte Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer. So let's just go ahead and get started with that. So that's for the face. This is the Smashbox Pore Minimizing Primer, the Photo Finish. And normally this does a pretty good job, but I just like to take a look at my face afterwards, after it sets in for a little bit, and see where else I need to put primer on, or where else I need more pore filling. And I always prep my eyes. I will sometimes just use concealer, but today, for the sake of the video and for the fact that I don't really have anywhere to be right now, I'm gonna go ahead and use an eyeshadow primer, and I use the Urban Decay, what is this? Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. This stuff is amazing, and your eyeshadow will not go anywhere with this primer. Blend it out. And I do kind of put it up into my eyebrow, if you can see on the video, which I think you can. In the viewfinder it looks like you can. But I do have sparse areas in my eyebrow, and so I just kind of bring it up into those bare areas so that the product sticks a little bit better. Now let's take a look at those pores. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to use the Clean Slate primer, but if I did have an area on my face where I saw like larger pores, or I felt like it just wasn't filled in as well, I would use the Tarte primer, because that takes care of any pore filling that you need to have done. For my base, I will use the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Stick Foundation. And the shade that I'm using today is Y365 or 123. And I like this foundation. I'm not in love with it, but I do like stick foundations because they're very easy to build up, and they give you a really good coverage. So for this today, I'm going to be taking, or I am taking, my MAC Oval 6 brush, and Artis makes these brushes. Actually, Real Techniques started making these brushes. So there are some dupes out there depending on the amount of money that you want to spend on a brush. This is just the one that I have on hand and the one that is in front of me and clean. So some of the other alternative brushes that I like to use for blending out my makeup, obviously, I like using a makeup sponge. And after I blend out a foundation, I like to take this sponge and just pounce it on my skin. I'm not going to do that today because I don't see areas of my face that I have a lot of excess product. But if I put on too much, I like to kind of take this and blend it out. It gives a more flawless blend to your foundation. The other brush that I really like to use are brushes, I should say, that I really like to use are brushes like this. They're not quite a flat top or a rounded kabuki brush. They kind of have this little flat shape to them, and then they're a little bit more, I don't know, they're like a dense, this was considered a blush brush. I got this brush, this is a crown brush. I got it in my BoxyCharm, and they called it a blush brush, but I really didn't, I wouldn't use something like this for blush. I actually like using brushes like this for foundation. So just one more thing. And then also this is really great to blend out concealer. So you can do your foundation and your concealer all with one brush, and that kind of saves time when you're getting ready in the morning. Okay, so moving on to concealer, I have, I use this particular coupling all the time. This is the Tarte Shape Tape and the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. I really like these together and how they work together, and I'll show you how I use them. I like to take my Shape Tape, and this is actually a lighter color, so I did go a little bit lighter on this, and I do just the inner corner right here, so I don't like a ton of highlighting, like for daily, you know, going to work and those types of things. And then I will take the Fit Me and just run it underneath like that. Now this may seem like a lot to a lot of people, so like I said, I'm not saying that this is right or wrong. I'm just saying that this is how I like to do things. I'll take it on the bridge of my nose, kind of a little bit on the forehead, a little bit on the chin, and those are really the only areas that I highlight. And then I just blend it out. And once that is done, again, I will just take the same blending sponge that I'm using, and I like to use the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. This, I just use this right underneath my eyes. I don't find that this causes flashback, but I don't like to, I'm not a baker. With my combination skin, I don't think that it's necessary. It just makes my under eyes look really, really creepy and really dry. You want to make sure also when you're doing this that you blend out any creasing that happens underneath your eyes before you set them, because if you set the creases, it's really, really difficult to get rid of them. So I don't have any creasing just yet, so I'm just going in really quickly with my powder and setting. I'll just take any little extra and put it down the bridge of my nose, set my chin, and go up onto my forehead. And then you can always set your eyes with a different tool, any brush that you like to set your under eyes with as well. This is just an easy way for me to save time because I'm using the same tool over and over again. If you have a larger powder brush, like I'm going to be using this one here. I like the pointed brushes. Doesn't really matter the brand. I just like a more pointed, precise brush because sometimes I will use this for multiple things as well, and I'll show you that too. Because I'm going to use this for my face setting powder. This is the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores Pressed Finishing Powder, and I just like to swirl around in there. I hit pan, but I'm almost completely out of this powder. So then I just like to run this all over my face. This has absolutely no flashback. Not that you really need to worry about that on a daily basis because I'm just going to work and I'm not going to be taking, you know, a ton of flash photography while I'm at work sitting at my desk. It would be weird. since I'm doing all of my face first, all of my base products, I'll go straight into my bronzer. So I use the NARS Laguna bronzer. Focus. And I will just take that same pointed brush because I don't contour and do bronzer separately. I do them all in one, it's an all-in-one kind of thing for me. So it's really good to have a neutral toned bronzer if you're going to contour and bronze at the same time. So nothing too warm, nothing too cool. And I just take this and first take it into the hollows of my cheeks. Then I take the bronzer and I just go kind of around the perimeters of my face. And if I'm in a real hurry, I will just take some of this bronzer and put it in my crease of my eyes and be on my way. Not even waste my time with eyeshadow or anything like that. But that's when I kind of oversleep or, oh, my hair's doing something crazy. That's kind of when I oversleep or do something like that where I'm very, very limited on time. I'm going to apply some blush. This is the Lorac Buildable Blush, and it is the shade Technicolor. It's a matte blush. And I normally like to go with a matte blush because I do go in with a highlight, even though I'm trying to save time. Okay, so now that brush is done, and I'm going to go in for a little nose contour because, I mean, I need it. So I normally will take an angled brush. This little travel brush ended up being perfect for doing nose contour. So this is the Luxie 207. This is just a travel sized one. So I like to go down along the sides of my nose. And I'll just take that same bronzer shade. I know, makeup rules are that your contour should be lighter than your bronzer, but it's makeup. There are really no rules, so. And this is just how I like to contour my nose. A lot of people say that you should not bring your contour down on the bridge of your nose, like down here, but I like to do that because it's just what works for me. And then I do the tip of my nose, and that's it really for a regular daily basis nose contour. Now it's time for you to witness me filling in my eyebrows. I use my browsing today, but on a regular basis I'll use like the Goof Proof brow pencil or something like that. I just use whatever I feel like using in the morning. So yeah, we're gonna go in with the browsing and see if I can do this on camera. Please hold. Stay tuned. So I first like to brush my eyebrows up. And the reason why I do this is because I want to be able to get a precise line underneath of the brow. And this is just the Benefit brow brush. So that was some rough brows. The browsing is not the way I remember it being. So long ago, I remember it being so much easier to work with than that. But it could also be this brush. This is the first time I'm using the Benefit brow brush. So really any brow brush will work when you're working with pomades, powders, or waxes. But that brush is a little bit stiff, and I wonder if it's because I just haven't used it a whole lot. So anyway, we're gonna try and remedy these brows by now setting them with some of the Gimme Brow from Benefit as well. I'm gonna go ahead and first lay down a base of, what color is this? Beaches and Cream from Makeup Geek. All I'm doing is setting down a base on top of the primer that I already put down. It's already set, but I still like to do this anyway, just because I like to start off with an even base, and that primer didn't really have a tint to it. I don't use one particular palette on a regular basis. I just use a particular set of colors. I normally will do like a neutral or like a warm brown smoky eye. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So I'm just going to stick with this same palette. Really, you can use any palette. This is just the Manny MUA Makeup Geek collaboration palette. They are now selling all of these shades individually, which I think is great, because I really actually like this palette. So to go into my crease, I'm going to use the MAC 224, just a fluffy blender brush. If you're looking for something a little bit cheaper, you can go with a Morphe M441. They're the same, they're basically essentially the same exact brush. So I'm just going to take two colors, take Sora in the middle and Frappe, and I'm just going to kind of mix them together and put that in my crease. Okay, so now I have that crease shade kind of laid down, and actually this isn't a crease shade, this is a transition shade. So it's just the area between your crease and kind of your brow bone area. So I like a fluffy blender brush for that, and then I like to go in with something a little bit more precise. I'm going to take a mixture of Aphrodite and Frappe and just kind of mix these two together to create not such a deep brown shade. And then I'm just going to go in the crease and the outer, I'd say, third of the eye with this one. This is just a clean blending brush with nothing on it. Just want to make sure that we're all blended. Moving on to the lid color, I normally like to, I will just leave it bare if I'm in a hurry, like I said, but a lot of times I like to put a little bit of a shimmery shade in there. I'm using this shade right here out of that same palette, and that is the shade Luna. It's just a really pretty, kind of like a rose gold bronzy color. And when I do shimmery shades on my lid, I literally just pick them up with my finger and put them on. It's just as pretty when you apply it with a brush, but the difference is that when you apply it with a brush, it has so much fallout. You get so many glittery little specks on your face. Really lightly on the lower lash line, and just take a little bit of the brown and then the transition color. So I'll do a mixture of both and just kind of smoke out that lower lash area. That, and then it makes it easier to just kind of blend it in when you use a larger brush. Makes it a little bit easier to blend it in with the top eyelid as well. Eyeliner. I'll normally go with brown, so pretty basic, not really very exciting. I'm gonna do this off camera because nobody likes to see this part. So probably can't tell too much of a difference, but I did do brown on the lower and upper lash, inner lash line. I don't know. My waterline and my tight line. Sometimes I will take a nude liner as well and run it on my lower lash line, but I will never put a nude on my upper lash line. That would defeat the purpose of why I'm putting eyeliner there in the first place. So now we will move on to mascara. And then just give a couple of From some eyelash curler, and you're curled. Or Voluminous Lash Paradise from L'Oreal. Still have something in my eye, probably makeup. Ta-da! I have eyelashes. Not long eyelashes, but I do have some eyelashes. So for highlighter, I'm going to be taking this Wet n Wild Make It Glow Highlight Powder in the shade Precious Petals. This is a really, really good highlighter, and it's from the drugstore, so it's affordable. There are times that I will take, like today, I'm going to take a larger fan brush and just kind of do it on the top of my cheekbones and whatnot. But on a regular, oh, this doesn't have a mirror. On a regular basis, I will typically take a smaller brush, like a really big fluffy eyeshadow brush, and use that because I want a less intense highlight, or I should say on days that I want a less intense highlight. So I will normally, if that's the case, if I want like a less intense highlight, like that's not crazy. But it's also, you know, I'm not using my ring light today, so. And highlight the Cupid's bow area. Especially when I'm going to work, I like to set my makeup. Because I'm there for a full 8-hour day. I don't have time to go in the bathroom and blot my face and do all that kind of stuff. So I find that using a really good setting spray is key to getting your makeup to stay and last for as long as possible. Then the final step for me is lips. Today, let's see. I zoomed you out a little bit because I don't feel like you need to be in super close to see what I'm about to do. The final step for me is lips. And today I'm just going to be taking kind of my go-to MAC lipstick. This is Whirl. Okay, and that is the final step. Now, some things that I want to tell you about lipstick for a long wear kind of situation. I love MAC lipsticks. They are my favorites as far as a actual traditional lipstick is concerned. I find that they stay a really long time. And that's why I like them so much. And they go on really smooth. They stay a really long time. Some alternatives to that, I personally don't often wear a matte liquid lip to work. The reason for that is because sometimes throughout the day, if you don't prep your lips properly, they will start to flake off or peel off, and it's just not cute, and sometimes they don't layer well. Like, you can't reapply it very easily. So a couple of my favorites, obviously MAC, a good lip gloss. So the Anastasia Beverly Hills lip glosses are some of my favorites. They actually do last a really long time for a lip gloss, so that's one option too. The L'Oreal Infallible Lip Paints and Matte Lips. The matte lips are not a matte liquid lipstick in the traditional sense. They're not going to really flake off or do anything gross while they're wearing off throughout the day. They just kind of wear off like a regular lipstick. The matte lip paint, or the lip paints, which are the first ones they came out with in these containers, are also really, really great. They set like a kind of like a satiny finish lipstick, and both are really, really long wearing. If you're looking for a more super long wearing but comfortable kind of alternative, the Ultra Satin Lips from ColourPop are amazing. They last a really long time. They're really, really comfortable on the lips. They are not transfer proof. So none of the options that I'm showing you right now are transfer proof. Those are my alternatives for lip products. If I'm going to wear a matte liquid lip, I choose Kat Von D every single time. It's kind of just my go-to liquid lip. I find that they wear off extremely well. They don't flake off, they don't peel off, they don't come off in sections. They don't wear off really strange or just like in the middle of your lip. They stay all day long. So those are my alternatives for lipsticks. And that's it. That's all I have for you guys for this video today. Again, if you are new to my channel, please feel free to subscribe. I would love to have you in my little YouTube community. And also go ahead and give this video a like. Let me know in the comments down below if there's anything that you need any tips or tricks on, or like a how-to type of thing, and I will try and accommodate that for you. And until next time, I will see you in the next video. Bye.